I've been developing, managing, and selling farms for over 20 years. And over that time, we've been incredibly blessed to work with some of the industry's biggest names. So we have seen, managed, and sold literally tens and tens of thousands of acres. And over that time, there's only been a handful of farms that have truly registered to us as special. The odd thing about that is it's hard to put your finger on exactly what makes those farms special. The one thing that they do seem to share in common is that they were designed and developed by somebody with a true vision. From the moment that we stepped foot on this farm, we knew that it was one of those special properties.
The reason I purchased the property is I've actually known about it since I was about 15 years old. Havens built the lake on the property. It was a local campground area. They had it about 5 or 6 years, and the economy slowed down in the 70s. They decided to shut it down, and a church group out of Chicago purchased it. It was for some of their get-togethers, hunting. They were here around 25 years, and then they decided they kind of had their fill of it. And as soon as I heard it was going up for sale, I was able to purchase it in a very short order. It actually worked out pretty good because in Macomb, Illinois, the state was going through a piece of our property where I had the cabin. And after we bought it, first thing I did is we actually moved this cabin. We're in the construction business and we have large cranes. Moved it in. The cabin, my two boys at the time helped me build it when they were around 15 years old. They had their friends help. They all earned enough money to buy their first cars. So the cabin has a lot of sentimental value.
The deer hunting on the property is truly world-class. It was designed largely with trophy whitetail hunting in mind, so the layout and the features are perfect to grow, hold, and harvest mature whitetail deer.
So guys, this is my first time on this property, and I have to say, as a deer hunter, I'm already excited. What we've got here is the perfect setup, I think, to kill a giant all season long, but ideally early season. If you look how he's got it set up here, he's got a thick bedding area with a creek bottom here. Those deer are going to be coming out of the bottoms after getting a drink of water. He's got it lined with pear trees on the outside here. He's got a perfect setup to plant a green field here. Those deer are going to be hitting that early as they make their way out to the crop field that we have out here. The perfect transition area. I mean, you get in here early October as those deer are making their way from greens to grains, and it's the perfect equation, I think, to kill a giant. So this gets me excited. Like I said, as a deer hunter, this is exactly how I would set a property up if I were working with a piece like this.
The deer hunting has been managed, and very few deer have been shot. We wait until they're 4.5, preferably 5.5, 6.5, and the hunting's just really getting at that level where there's quite a few Boone and Crockett deer.
After touring this place more, we've seen it has everything that you need to grow and hold mature deer. It's got water. There's a 100-acre lake on here. It's got over 300 acres of timber and cover, and there's food everywhere. We're just coming up on another giant cornfield. There's field edge everywhere. We're in a about a 2-acre clover plot right here that backs up to more thick bedding. But one of the things that I think is also really great and unique about this place is how great the access is to get to these food plots, which you don't see a lot, because what you need to get to where you're going to hunt is a quick and stealthy way to get in without spooking all these deer, and that's what this has. We've literally been on a trail or a road to get to every food plot or ag field through this entire property. There's access on both the north and south side, which is great, because if you want to get in here late season and harvest the giant, you're going to need to do it quietly and have an easy way of doing it. And the trail system through here is just incredible. Like I said, as a deer hunter, this place makes me excited about the potential to really do anything you want with it.
The waterfowl hunting on this property is something that we're truly excited about. When we became part of the development team 6 to 8 months ago, the waterfowl hunting was already really good. I mean, we're talking a 95-acre lake that the owner keeps aerated and open throughout the winter. So the waterfowl hunting was really good. We thought it could be better. So we designed and developed 3 wetlands throughout the property. 2 of them are top ground wetlands where you can plant and flood corn surrounded by agricultural fields. We also built a really cool bottom ground wetland at the inlet of the lake. There's 3 cells where we could draw down that water and expose that mud flat so we could plant some millet and raise that water back up. Kind of a cool opportunity hunt in almost a flooded timber sort of environment in Illinois, which is just incredibly rare. The fishing opportunities on the farm speak for themselves. It's a 95-acre lake. The owner's done an incredible job managing it over the last 5-6 years, and the results have just been phenomenal. They've been catching great largemouth bass, crappie, bluegill, catfish. From a recreational and family enjoyment standpoint, the farm truly offers it all. The lake is big enough to water ski and jet ski on. The lodge is built right on the lake with a nice beach and dock. The deck wraps around the house and has incredible views over the lake. It truly has it all. Another cool element of this farm is the infrastructure that's in place. When Jack bought the property 5 or 6 years ago, it was actually run as a campground. He's done a ton of work since then, cleaning the farm and improving the habitat, but he left a lot of the infrastructure in place. There's 4 or 5 cabins that were in good shape that he left standing. The entire property has power and water run throughout it. So if somebody wanted to buy it and run it as a campground or a retreat, the infrastructure is there and the opportunities are endless.
Well, the reason we're considering getting rid of it, we do not use it as much the last year as much as we normally have. With my boys having moved away and their families are gone and they're having children, they come a few times a year. They do come bow hunting, but it's just not used real regular. The other reason, had some family from Michigan, particularly my Uncle Don, and who hunted all of his life, and his children would come down, and we'd have great camaraderie with deer hunting camp. And when he passed, his family comes down, but not nearly as frequently or as long. My wife and I, we purchased property in Florida. Something my wife really wanted to do, to move to Florida where it was warm in the winter. And we are doing traveling in our motor coach, seeing a lot of the rest of the United States that we haven't seen. So just not enough time to justify owning it, but I still love every bit of it. It's just meant the world to us, and never thought I would have a unique experience like this in my life. Yeah, I would really like just occasionally new owners, if they let me just drive through it, just to look at it, because it'll be missed.